The United States federal government should establish a domestic climate policy, including at least creating and applying new source performance standards for emissions of greenhouse gases from animal feeding operations and concentrated animal feeding operations with increased resources dedicated to enforcement. Advantage 1 is warming. Current livestock emissions overshoot Paris targets that pushes us past the 2-degree threshold, reducing meat consumption. Key for guard 16 key World Appetite for Meat is neither healthy nor sustainable. These trends are incompatible with the subject of avoiding dangerous climate change, even with the ambitious effort to reduce emissions intensity of production. The growing demand for meat means that emissions will continue to rise and eat up a significant share of the warming climate budget that will make it extremely difficult to achieve the global climate goals. Do agree during Paris, governments must regulate the cycle of inertia and encourage people to eat less meat. In Paris marked a significant step toward a lower carbon future and a more stable climate. Governments pledge to keep global warming at less than 2 degrees Celsius. Livestock innovations has a central component of climate mitigation efforts, yet livestock production has remained peripheral to climate negotiations. So focus on food-related activities must be increasing incentive to change consumption patterns and shift meat consumption. Excluding livestock emissions collapses Paris that makes warming inevitable. The plan is key to restore trust and sustain international momentum. Halverson, 16 of the Paris Climate Pact is going to succeed at being off climate change and disaster. The participating countries will need to achieve to trust. Yet the U.S. government is mainly livestock producers account for about 15% of greenhouse gas emissions. The United States is underreporting its total greenhouse gas emissions to the United States as a result of livestock monitoring and curbing greenhouse gases from livestock is considered vital to stopping global warming. Several studies forecast growth in the worldwide agricultural nations alone will push global temperatures past a big point technology to capture the methane, although it is rarely used in the United States. Scientists also have developed a method for reducing methane emissions from the there is little incentive for large-scale farms to adopt these practices in the U.S. Under current negotiation, there are even disincentives of a livestock operator were to capture the methane. It would then fall under climate change regulations. Changing our food system will have a quicker impact on stopping climate change when altering our fossil fuel habits. For now, the world is guessing about American cow farts, even as U.S. officials demand accuracy from other nations. Of the 194 other participants who the Paris Climate Pact to think that things who can blame them warming is real and anthropogenic steps at all. 16 this resulting on the magnet which really shows up what we has well the reasons you to increase cause temperature increase the other way around. The value was clearly confirmed. Greenhouse gases are the main drivers of the changing temperature. Warming causes extinction, triggers tipping points and positive feedbacks which make the planet uninhabitable. Climate 14 as global warming exceeds 2 degrees of service of triggering non-linear tipping elements. Examples include large-scale Amazon dieback are on track to avoid the world and marked by extreme heat waves, declining global food stocks, loss of ecosystem of biodiversity, and threatening sea level rise. There is no certainty that adaptation is possible. Broad heat waves that kill tons of thousands of people would become unremarkable events on every continent. Crops suffer dramatic yield losses where demand will be surging. Hurricanes, wildfires, widespread eruption in water supplies, extinctions, and diseases. Feedback lose global vegetation that is too saturated to act as a reliable single. We are headed to 460 degrees Celsius. Climate change has become an existential crisis for the human species and livestock. Demand drives methane emissions that independently triggers one-way warming. Ride check 15 pushing global temperatures to the 13 thresholds that trigger abrupt irreversible changes. Methane is the world's driver of global warming and greater than CO2. Methane only stays in the atmosphere for 12 years for the reason the methane in the livestock industry represent a unique opportunity and our only hope for mitigating runaway global warming. We can quickly undo significant amounts of damage and save up tipping points. Significant reduction in livestock population can be achieved accomplished with relative ease. Reductions here would have a greater and quicker positive environmental impact. Alternatives to livestock production could be scaled up quickly. There is no other feasible singular action that can do more to mitigate global warming and climate change. And advantage 2 is food prices. Crop diversion is a primary cause of food insecurity. Shifting grains from livestock to people prevents millions from starving. Fully 11.1 billion people suffer from chronic hunger. Farmers go enough to feed them, but many cannot afford it because prices are escalating. By 2050, the world's billion, which will double the demand for food. Demand will rise because more people will eat more meat. By eating more people would be although food we grew would into human hands, but with 60% of the world's crops are meant for people. 35% is used for animal feed. Meat is the biggest animals reduces the food supply. Increase global food availability. More of our crops and feeding people. Future livestock global humans could net 2-3 quadrillion additional calories a year, a 50% increase from our current supply. So to all plant diets, even small shifts can pay off handsomely. Food scarcity is a universal conflict magnifier and the largest internal link to conflict. Heating 14. If you want to predict the instability or war for the best factor to keep an eye out, it's not GDP or energy prices. It would be the price of grain. Food is the difference between an unhappy about decoded yes and a population and one in revolt. And permanently expensive food means global instability. The world's conflicts and the conflicts can also be mutual mutually reinforcing increased nuclear conflict. FDI, 12 conflicts in the next century will be fought over resources. The scale of the problem of the future would be significantly greater as a result of population pressure, changing weather, urbanization, migration, loss of arable land and other farm neighborhoods, and increased affluence in the developing world develops. Expresses the problem that people are hungry, the state is not stable, the riots, violence, breakdown of law and order, and migration result in crime rights in large regions of the world run short of food, land, or water, that wholesome flooding wars are liable to follow. An incredible scenario for World War III of festering itself, perpetuating chain of resource conflicts. The study of the IPRI indicates that when a food security is likely to result in conflict in the UK. Ministry of Defense and CIA, the U.S. Center for Strategic and International Studies, and the also Peace Research Institutes all identify famine as a trigger for nuclear war threatens extinction. Crib 10 declines in food would represent a setback in our clear and present danger of planetary security in the human future. But in the case of Africa, they can dislodge a flood of millions of refugees. In the case of nuclear armed India and Pakistan, estimating 500 million might be driven by the threat of starvation. To fight the running of first use another brand that Russia, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. Next is solvency. Industry gets on the regulation shifts national diets to meat and dairy analogs. Goodland and Ambing 99. Disruptive climate events are forecast to threaten developed. 09. Are threatened to develop the market. It's increasingly a food market can produce at a market alternatives to livestock products. In that case, some but are less expected and better than livestock products. The market for meat and dairy analogs is almost as big. They could significantly scale up production and sales within a few years at a reasonable capital cost and with an attractive return on investment. If production of analog is significantly increased, then their cost will decline. The cost reduction will follow from economies of scale and increased competition. The business risk would be mitigated by the fact that much of the necessary infrastructure already exists. Industry led of supply led growth has been successful in other industries, so suggests that it can be successful with meat and dairy analogs service of business as usual. Change. EPA has authority under the Clean Air Act for CAFOs, and SPS is empirically effective and can easily CAFOs Hoover 13 section 111 of the CEDA provides the EPA with a tool most suitable for CAFO regulation. CAFOs typically escape enforcement since many do not reach thresholds, and SPS provides the EPA with a tool to draw all CAFOs into regulatory escape under and SPL problems submitted by CAFOs upon listing CAFOs as so the EPA would establish standards of performance that apply to all CAFOs. These standards would require CAFOs to institute practices that allow enforcement when factory farms of violating emission limits and SPS prohibits operations. The EPA may also prescribe operational requirements that would apply to CAFOs across the board. The standards would tackle pollution from both new and existing CAFOs, and SPS are powerful but of flexibility to overcome difficulties like lack of adequate emissions and estimating methodologies and variability in CAFO size and type. And SPS would set the performance emission standards that reflect the emissions available with the best system of adequately demonstrated technology. The EPA would require certain work practices. There is little question of the feasibility of focused regulation of CAFOs. Focused plan required by pollutant specific remedy, and SPS for CAFOs would be significantly lower on a national scale for a variety of pollutants and a fragmented solution. The EPA would gain a standardized nation-wide approach to regulating CAFO air pollution, and the app is a comparative best way to alter industry practice, forcing cost internalization of its production. Transition the best option. Portion 16 regulated CAFOs under Section 111 has the best chance of creating sufficient incentives to alter industry practices. It can consider practices beyond air quality and it requires specific practice standards. We can only avoid this kind of regulation by ceasing to be a CAFO and would be forced to alter its practices. CAFOs are able to reduce such an expensive products because industry is not a barrier to reduction and cost regulating the emission of every pollutant removes the indirect subsidy of non-internalization, increasing the price of products. Consumers would choose more human options if the prices were more comparable to production costs of CAFO animal products. Alternatives will thrive, and Trump's Secretary of State Pick will ensure compliance with Paris Action Now reassures world leader Sergeant 1213. The world leaders look for ways to look for the deal in place to listen Trump's voice to be Secretary of State. Mark out Secretary of State.
One second. Okay, so the first question, who actually does the plan?
So the United States federal government does the plan. It's regulated by the EPA, which is
So I mean, like, as far as like,
not the EPA, NSPS.
But does like Congress like pass like a resolution like having the EPA make these regulations, or like what is it?
It doesn't necessarily need to be a resolution by Congress, right? Precedent for executive agency.
Okay, so like, what action are you defending?
What
is like, what action are you defending?
New source performance standards are essentially a that is placed on
like that's in the plain text. I know that, but like who's doing the action?
The United States federal government.
Who in the United States federal government?
We don't say.
The EPA. It's under the Clean Air Act, yeah, which is regulated by the EPA.
Okay then. I want to go on your food scarcity. The Foley 11 cards talks about how like in 2050 we're gonna be like too overpopulated. So
Right,
so pretty much is this impact like on the brink right now?
Yeah, our argument is that in the next couple of years it would occur,
But the Foley 11 card specifically references 2050 as a time when we're gonna be too overpopulated to like have this like food insecurity.
No, and for food, doesn't give a specific date for any of our food.
Yeah. What's up?
Okay, so based off the Foley 11 evidence indicating things such as like food scarcity, what about the affirmative result things such as like food deserts and other different structural issues that like affect how people even get food?
We'll argue that our plan drastically reduces food prices and creates more sustainable industry practices because we use soy and dairy analogs, which are better able to.
So does the affirmative also increase like soy farming? Yes or no?
It's not a mandate. I would say that analogs are like a result of the market.
Okay. In that case, like when we're speaking of results in the plan text like specifically says like we're gonna establish a domestic climate policy that at least establishes like the CAFOs and stuff like that. Are you defending like your policy establishing like any other policy?
No. We're defending new source performance standards for emissions of greenhouse gases.
Okay.
If you're like going to read a counterplan, we are going to say it doesn't compete based on at least if it is a pick.
Okay, that's fine. As far as the warming threshold, like